Hello, Sharon Joe here from My Wool and Tresses. Today I'm going to talk about how natural is natural. Again, what all My Wool and Tresses is all about is about that psyche of how we think about our hair, how we feel about our hair. I always say, whenever you do something with your hair, do it in love, regardless of what you do. If you choose to perm, press, braid, cut all off, or wear natural, do it in love. Don't just do it because you're trying to make it be something else. But how natural is natural? Is the psyche of going natural still basically the same thing it was prior to actually going natural? Are we still looking at our hair as we did before, but we're just, kind of covering up by saying, okay, well, I'm natural. I don't process my hair and I don't do certain things with my hair. Back about 6 years ago, that's when this natural hair movement really started. When people started taking out weave and cutting off perm, and the big chop became a real popular thing. And it was a drastic thing. One of my favorite shows or my favorite internet shows was Awkward Black Girl. And the main character in the show at the beginning, she had cut all her hair off. She did a big chop. And one of her evil coworkers said to her, "Oh, what happened to you? Do you have cancer?" And it was that drastic that when you would see somebody one day where they had this straight permed hair or weaved hair, and then the next day they had cut all their hair off and their hair was natural. So it was kind of a drastic thing. I have a friend of mine who, well, she was kind of natural already. She wore dreadlocks, and she said one day she just got sick of them, and she walked into she was married. She's married, and she walked out of the living room with her husband, and then cut all her locks off, and then walked back in, and it was really drastic. It was just like, what happened? And that's what the big chop was like. It was a big deal. It was what happened. When people first started doing this, a lot of people were putting together oils and things like that to put on their hair. You go to the store, beauty supply store, and buy different oils and put it in your hair. All those products that we used as children, Sulfur 8, but then those other oils, shea and coconut oil and all these other things. You could go on YouTube and find a gazillion different recipes of putting something get together to deal with your hair, condition your hair and twist your hair up and so forth. And then you had these mavericks who showed up and they started actually selling product. The lady who sold the creator of Kinky Curl, I think she's West Indian or from the Caribbean or something like that. And she lived in the US and she went back home and she didn't have her hair products with her and she needed something to put on her hair. And she talked to an elderly person who knew about the things to mix together and put on your hair to make your hair look nice. And that was something that she began to play with, and she created Kinky Curl from there. Carol's daughter, she was, an American woman who used to make oils and perfumes, and then, she got into the hair product side, and it was a real popular thing. And Mrs. Jesse's, or Miss Jessie, I think it was two ladies who got together, and they had these products. And I remember there was a point in time you couldn't find these products because that natural hair movement was growing so fast. They were just eating product up, and you just couldn't find it. And it was just ridiculous. And then you start getting these companies that were a little bit bigger who started making products. The Shea Motion, As I Am, Mixed Chick, African Pride. They could get stuff out there a lot quicker compared to these people who were, these individual groups who were cooking up stuff in their own kitchen and putting that product out there. And then you had the larger corporations who got together and they started, making African American products, Pantene and Revlon and things like that. I remember Pantene's product was geared for permed hair because at the time, and this was a little bit longer than 6 years ago when, that permed hair was still kind of a popular thing. And Pantene made a product for African American hair, conditioner and shampoo for permed hair, and it was really good, and I used it. But these other products are kind of stepping in and really, really kicking in, and I think they kind of took their business. I know that they do have business and people are buying their products, but I think that these other people who are actually geared more so to, they're specifically for, because the company was the company and the product came together because the product, the company came to be because of the product. And I think that that group is doing better with that type of they're doing better with sales than these other bigger companies. But I had recently posted something on Facebook that I had seen, reposted it, about where these products are placed. Now, if you go to the beauty supply, okay, they're all over the place. Okay, I understand that. But if you go into the drugstore, Walgreens or CVS, these products are in a different aisle. They are considered the ethnic hair aisle. It's not necessarily in the beauty aisle. So if you want to buy shampoo that is just in the beauty aisle, and then you need to buy an ethnic, a quote unquote ethnic hair product, you got to go to two different places. And what the post was saying was, there was a lady who had, put this video together about how we need to merge these things, because it's hair. It's hair in this country. Everybody uses hair products. You've got people who use Rogaine. There's women out there who have thinning hair. It's in the beauty aisle. Women out there who have graying hair. They want to color their hair. It's in the beauty aisle. These different products. My product for my hair should be in that same beauty aisle. And to me, that makes sense. And, you've got to go looking for it. It's like, where is it? It should be in the beauty aisle because it's for beauty. And, that again, that whole psyche of it, it's not separate. It's one, this is one country. At one point in time, we were attempting to do separate but equal, and that didn't work. So we want to put these things together and, look at the whole range of beauty. You've got shampoo for blondes and brunettes in the beauty aisle. So why isn't the products for my hair in the same beauty aisle? I may not be a blonde and I may not be a brunette. I'm a kinky haired woman. So what's wrong with that? It should be in the beauty aisle as well. But I was talking to my sister the other day, who has been natural for quite some time. She started going natural way before this movement started, and she's got really thick hair and very pretty. And I was talking to her the other day, and she made a comment, and that was the whole idea about how natural is natural. And she was saying, I really don't like about how people with natural, these women with natural hair, they have a tendency of every once in a while they press their hair out and they, to check the length, and that was kind of one of the things that women in this movement were fighting. This whole thing about, my hair is beautiful because it's long. You used to have women who would have their hair would be long, but when you really looked at it, it would be like sheer at the bottom because it would be, they needed a trim and they didn't want to cut it. These people who would just hold on to hair forever, even though it needed to be trimmed, it wasn't healthy. And, it's still that mindset, that psyche, hey, am I really looking at the natural beauty of my hair, or am I trying to say that my hair is keeping it in its natural state, but yet trying to check and make sure, well, yes, it's in its natural state, but it's still long, it's still, if I pressed it out, it would still look this way, so you're judging your beauty of, it's almost like trying to judge your beauty of something that is hidden and not necessarily of what actually is. So it's a little odd, I never really, although I've kind of seen people do it. It never really dawned on me. I never really thought about it until my sister really brought it up, and I'm like, yeah, that is kind of odd, And being in that, that natural hair community and really just touching everything. Instagram, there's a guy that I follow, Healthy Hair Journey. And, he shows all types of different, all types of hair, he weaves and natural hair and, perms and the whole bit. I mean, he goes through the whole thing, which I think is awesome. But there's people out there who are getting natural hair weaves where you wouldn't think that, that's like an oxymoron. I wear my hair natural, but it's it's woven. It's, just like you would do any weave pretty much. you braid your hair down, and you crochet these things in, and it's this, these pieces that look, they're not straight, they're not Indian hair anymore. I think I don't necessarily know what type of hair it is. I think that it has to be synthetic hair, because I don't think you can make, other than this hair, that's the only type of hair that's going to be that wavy and that wild. So when I saw that, I'm just like, wait a minute. It's again, how natural is natural? Where is the psyche of our natural hair? If you choose to wear your hair natural, are you truly wearing it natural, or are you trying to fake out and act like, follow the crowd? Is this, has it become just like everything else, where it's just something that everybody does? It's just that fad. I know that, what was it? I think it was economics with the bell curve, if you remember that, how you've got these people who start, when there's a trend, you've got the mavericks that started, who really started. And then when you get to the middle, you've got these people who are just doing it because they're doing it. And then, these tail end people who just are just late last kind of thing. And the question is where are we in this bell curve with this, natural hair? How natural is natural? Where's the psyche of it? Are we truly holding true to it? Again, I truly believe that you have to hold true to what you choose to do to your hair. But when you choose to take on something, how true are you to it? So ask yourself that. If you're natural, how true are you to it? What do you think? If you have any comments, do write me and make comments below. And I would really love to hear what people have to say about how natural is natural, and what is the psyche now of going natural compared to what it was about 6 years ago, when it was just women who had gotten to this point where they said, you know what, I'm done, I'm fed up, and I'm not doing it anymore. Compared to women who are doing it now, who are doing it because it's a fad, or it's just a beauty statement, and not necessarily a way of life as it was when it first started. So if you have any comments, do tell me. I'm curious. I've started this conversation with my sister, and I want to kind of start this conversation with everybody else. So when you have a moment, make a comment, and we'll talk about it then. So thank you for listening, and I look forward to talking to you guys again. You guys have a great day.